Tomorrow marks the start of free agency, kicking off at 12 p.m. For those who might not know, it's a big day in the NFL. But before that, we've already seen some moves happening. In this video, I'll break down what the Atlanta Falcons have been up to so far and what they might do next, along with some of the rumors swirling around them. To be honest, the Falcons have been pretty quiet lately. Over the last few days, we haven't heard much about the team, whether it's about players they're trying to re-sign or new faces they might be bringing in. This silence is a little unusual for Atlanta, and it's leaving fans wondering if it's a good or bad sign. A lot of people are leaning toward bad, knowing the history of Terry Fontenot, the Falcons' GM. But personally, I'm not sure. It's just strange to see them so quiet, especially with all the opportunities this year to improve the team. Normally, by this time, we'd be hearing about the Falcons either restructuring deals or re-signing players, but we haven't heard anything. Still, there are rumors about potential players they might go after, and even some potential losses. So, in this video, I'm going to dive into all of that. As we all know, the Falcons have been struggling to find a consistent pass rush. It's been a major issue for the team for the past 20 years. Luckily, this year, there are plenty of options available through free agency and trade. We've all heard the names: Trey Hendrickson, Micah Parsons, and even Zadarius Smith. Today, there's news that might not exactly shock Falcons fans, but it could be an important move to keep an eye on. Now, let's talk about something that might make the Falcons think twice: the news about Myles Garrett. Today, Garrett and the Cleveland Browns agreed to a massive deal worth over $40 million a year. This not only changes the market for edge rushers, but it also has a ripple effect on other positions across the league. For example, Jamar Chase was the highest-paid non-quarterback player until Garrett's deal, and now his market value is likely going to rise, which could impact the Cincinnati Bengals. Here's the thing: Myles Garrett was reportedly on the Falcons' radar at one point, but that's clearly off the table now. However, the impact of this deal on the Falcons is still significant. If Atlanta wants to land an elite edge rusher in the future, they'll probably have to pay close to $40 million a year, just like Garrett. While this might not be a huge issue down the road, it's something to keep in mind. If you're wondering who could be that $40 million guy for the Falcons, a name that comes to mind is Micah Parsons. If Atlanta is able to trade for him, and it's been said that he could be available, they'll likely have to offer him that kind of money. And yes, the Falcons could make room for it, but it's important to understand the kind of commitment that would be needed. Garrett's huge contract has shifted the league's landscape, and with that, players like Micah Parsons are going to demand similar deals. Myles Garrett's massive contract also has big implications for other players, like Micah Parsons. The Dallas Cowboys might not be able to afford to re-sign Parsons now, given their $60 million quarterback and $35 million receiver. They probably won't have enough cap space to keep Parsons on the team as well. So, this could mean that Parsons is on the move, which is actually a good sign for the Falcons. Now, let's talk about some internal Falcons news. One player I've been hearing a lot about lately is Drew Dalman. The Falcons were hoping to keep him for around $13 to $15 million a year, but things have changed recently. Word is the Chicago Bears are showing strong interest in Dalman and might make a serious push to sign him. According to Jordan Schultz, Dalman is expected to have a strong market, with the Bears being a top contender. Chicago has already added some solid players, like Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson, but they still need a center, and Dalman fits that need. If the Bears offer Dalman more than $15 million, I think the Falcons should let him go. He's a good player, but at that price, I'd rather move on and keep looking for other opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, the Falcons still desperately need an edge rusher. The good news is, there are some big names available. For example, Zadarius Smith was recently released by the Detroit Lions, which could be a chance for Atlanta to grab him. But let's take a look at the many free agent edge rushers out there. Terry Fontenot might have his pick of the bunch. We all know about Harold Landry, who's considered a solid pass rusher. He'd probably be a Tier A or B type of player for the Falcons. While there are some top-tier edge rushers available, there are also plenty of solid Tier B and C players that could be great pickups for the Falcons. I'd love to see them target guys like Trey Hendrickson, who would be a fantastic addition, but if that's not possible, there are still solid options like Azeez Al-Shaair, Zadarius Smith, or even Derek Barnett. These are underrated players who could give you 8 to 10 sacks a year, which is exactly what the Falcons need. And the best part is, they won't break the bank like Myles Garrett or, potentially, Micah Parsons. In other news, Von Miller was released earlier today, which could open up another opportunity for the Falcons. If the price is right, Miller could be a great addition to solidify their edge rush. This is really a unique year for the Falcons to make a significant improvement in pass rush, and the market is full of opportunities. I'd even say it's the most abundant pass rusher free agent market we've had in a long time. While other positions might not have as much depth, the Falcons need to be aggressive in going after a pass rusher. Now, moving on to another important topic, Kirk Cousins. Not much has happened with Cousins yet, but we all saw the Geno Smith trade, which might leave the Seahawks in need of a quarterback. Interestingly, the Geno Smith deal could actually work in Kirk Cousins' favor. The Raiders were reportedly interested in Cousins, so this might open up some new possibilities for him. There are a lot of teams out there that are hungry for a quarterback, and Kirk Cousins could be the answer. As my guy Rise Up Pennick pointed out in a tweet, the Geno Smith trade actually gives the Falcons more leverage in waiting for the right trade offer for Cousins. Sources are saying the Falcons could get a solid deal for him. Everyone knows it, and the Falcons know it. If they're patient and wait it out, eventually, a team desperate for a quarterback will make a move, and the Falcons can strike when the time is right. In other news, I'm hearing that both the Minnesota Vikings and Seattle Seahawks are interested in Aaron Rodgers. There's definitely a demand for good quarterback play, and there aren't many top options out there. On top of that, the Giants, Jets, Seahawks, Steelers, and Vikings are reportedly all interested in signing Sam Darnold. That's 5 teams chasing after one quarterback. So, yeah, the market for Kirk Cousins is real, and it's only going to heat up. There's a lot going on as we head into free agency. While things might feel a little quiet now, there are plenty of signs pointing toward big moves. Hopefully, the Falcons can work out their pass rush situation, whether that means adding a key player in free agency or making smart picks in the draft to add depth to their defense. That could be just what they need to make a serious playoff push. Agree or disagree? Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. If you want more videos like this, check out the one right here. And as always, peace.